Okay, welcome to Essential Children. And we're going to cover the children's kit collection. So it's good to have your kit with you. Let me open to my page and notes. And just a minute. Okay. So in the United States, the kids have gone back to school or they're online. And in Israel, the kids are going to start going back to school next week. So this is a good time to bring out the oils for our kids to help them just build their strength, emotional strength and physical strength as they get themselves out there, exposing themselves to other children, and then also just the attention that they're going to need to be back in school or back online school. So hi everybody, I'm Kara Blattman-Rock, founder of doTERRA in Israel and now living in New Mexico, building a doTERRA community here. So the oils that we're going to talk about is the children's kit collection. It's this, mine's quite old now, so it's not looking as brand new, but it's the children's kit collection. It's the colored topped oils, but then we're going to bring in some other oils as well, like the Lavender Touch, the Melaleuca Touch, the Breathe Touch, Digestzen Touch, On Guard Touch, and then a couple of the emotional oils, In Tune and Peace. So I'm going to talk about the kids collection specifically for little ones. It could be, today I'm going to really speak from experience. So I'm going to really talk about like using the kids collection for my baby who's now 2.5, but I started using with them, using them with her when she was a newborn and a baby. And then also teaching about how to use the oils for all of the different age kids in your life. And then also how to use them effectively for us as we go into multitasking, managing our kids at school or online, and also working ourselves. So some of the oils that you can use for focused attention, increasing physical strength and immunity. So I'm going to share the screen and also bring up the PDFs or the PIPs, the product information pages for the kids collection, because they're really nice. And I can see the ingredients of the blend better than looking at it on the bottle, because my vision is starting to change. So, but let's start with an oil for ourselves, those of you that are on the call. So I learned this from Elena Brower. She's a presidential diamond or double presidential diamond in doTERRA, and she did a great 30-minute webinar on blending oils, and she used a ton of the kids collection. So I might post it again to the WhatsApp group so you guys can look at that. It was like a 20-minute call. It was really great. And she blended a lot of the kids collection oils with some of the more exotic or the more special oils. So one of the ones that I loved that she put together was Rose and Stronger. My Stronger is really getting worn out. But today I want us to try, if you have it, the Brave with the Jasmine. So we'll start the call with those two. So you take the Brave and do a swipe in your hand, a nice big swipe, and then you follow it with the Jasmine. And rub your hands together. And breathe. Oh my goodness, the combination of the Brave with the Jasmine, and you can take it to the back of your neck. So the Brave is an oil for increasing your emotional strength, being brave to move forward through the day, being focused on your goals and knowing that you're going to achieve them, you know, in a time frame that maybe is not completely up to you, but that you will manifest everything that you desire. And then the Jasmine just brings in this feminine oil. It's beautiful, it's beauty, it represents beauty, it represents the queen of the house, that you're moving with grace and decisive decision-making skills. And so just take in that brave and that jasmine for one more breath. And let's start the class. So we just started Nahama. We used brave and jasmine together. Elena Brower taught me that from one of her blending classes. And she uses a lot of the kids' collections with the more special oils. Her favorite is brave and jasmine, and then stronger and rose, which I will try that combination at the end. So let's get into the kids collection, because our little ones are going back to school or they're going online, and how can we best support them during this time. And I'm going to just go through each of the kids collection oils. I'm going to share the screen so we can see the ingredients closer of each oil, and then it'll just kind of keep me on track of what I'm sharing with you. So the first oil that's on there is Brave. How amazing that we just smelled that oil. And so Brave is a combination of, it's a blend of wild orange, amyris, osmanthus, I love osmanthus, cinnamon, and fractionated coconut oil. So Brave is a great way to begin the day with confidence. So with our kids that may have a little bit of nervousness around the first days of school, or just if they're going to school and just the interactions of being around kids again, this is a great oil to start with them, to start their day. And putting it on the palms of their hand for them to smell. And I always put it like on their forearms so they continue to smell it in the morning and maybe a little bit throughout the day. Those oils in the, we're starting with Brave, and the oils in Brave, they're a little bit lighter oils, so they are gonna absorb pretty quickly. So if you feel comfortable sending this oil with your child to school, they could reapply it on their forearms and hands to smell it throughout the day. The other way that I use Brave pretty consistently is at night. I have some of my kiddos are just nervous about having bad dreams at night or not being able to sleep, or some of their anxieties around the day come up for them at night, and it may be presenting itself as bad dreams. So I put it across their forehead and down to their temples. And then I have them rub it in so that then they can smell their hand before they go to sleep and just smell the Brave and be brave into going into their sleep and going into their dreams and enjoying a dream state versus being afraid of a dream state. And oftentimes then, which I think is the next blend, I put right on top of it. So this is layering. Thank you, Yahan. I do have them spread the Brave on their forehead and temples, and then I follow it with Calmer right on top of the forehead and temples. And again, I have them spread it in so that they can smell it. And the other spot that I always hit right after their temples is just over their thymus gland. I do that with the Brave as well. Brave on top and then Calmer on top. And I tell them about it. Brave is an oil. I should start telling them what oils are in it, but I don't. I just say Brave is an oil that helps you emotionally feel brave and stronger and let go of any negative thinking. And it's just a motivating oil to keep you positive. And Calmer, let's go over the oils in Calmer. Calmer's is lavender, Buddha wood, Roman chamomile, and this oil I am not familiar with. So if anybody is, unmute yourself and tell me about it. It's Kananga oil. Say that 5 times fast. Kananga oil, Kananga oil. So obviously lavender is a calming oil. It's good for going to sleep. So is Roman chamomile. That's why I apply it on the forehead and the temples and the top of the thyroid and thymus gland here. at night for helping them to have a deeper, calmer, stress-free sleep. And again, if we're putting Brave and Calmer on our kids at night to address that acute happening of them just having a good sleep and good dreams and a positive nature going into their sleep, that's going to affect how they wake up too. In a couple of years ago, we were at a doTERRA convention, and there was a woman who she's presidential diamond, I believe, in doTERRA US and Europe. And she also then has her second career is she has a PhD in psychology, and she does a lot of work with women specifically on managing your mood and dealing with diagnosed um, uh, emotional imbalances like depression. Her main focus is depression and helping women and men be aware of depression and its impact on a family and the next generation, and using plant medicine and oils to balance their moods. And she would say, choose oils at night that you want to feel the next day. So if you feel like you want to feel braver the next day or calmer the next day, put those oils on at night for your children, but also put them on for you. I love the kids collection for my kids because I know that they're soft and they're blended, they're highly diluted, and they have some really safe oils. And I love the terminology soft. I feel that they're really soft. And and so I started using them for myself because they're so sweet and so special and effective in this like very calm and sweet way. Because some of the doTERRA oils they're just strong. They're just going to get right to the cause and right to the problem, but they're strong. And the kids collection is it's just soft, and it takes you into balancing out things in a very soft and steady way. So the Calmer is of course good for a restful sleep, but it's also for our kiddos that have a nervous tendency that might, or it, and any age kid that have a nervous tendency that kind of tend to think towards the negative or worry about the what ifs, or what if this happens, or what if that happens, or my son is always a what if kind of guy, and it's usually the what if of the negative side of things that could possibly go wrong and happen. So Calmer and Brave blend is great for him. I try to put it on him consistently every night, and so that the next day he's waking up with those attributes, and then if we need to, we reapply them in the morning. So that is, oh, and then Calmer, from just another point of view, is for my 2-year-old, and before she was 2, teething. Calmer is an amazing oil for teething. And I didn't know this for my other kids, and I don't think the kids collection was even out there for those babies. So luckily I did have it for my last child, my 4th child. And Calmer is great. And the reflex point for teething is in the little bottoms of the toes, like the little flexion of the little toes on the bottom. So you can just rub the blend straight on the bottom of the feet around the toes, and use it as often as you need for teething. You can also even put it directly on the jawline, over where the teething is bothering the child. And one of the reasons why that's so good for teething is it has lavender and chamomile in it, which are both good for inflammation of the gums and helping to decrease that inflammation, and therefore the pain that comes from teething. So Calmer is a great teething blend. So then the next one is called Rescuer. So this is like your softer deep blue for kids. And in this is copaiba, lavender, spearmint instead of peppermint, because spearmint's just a softer anti-inflammatory pain. I love when they put words in here that I really have trouble with. Xanthoxylum essential oils. You know, can anybody speak to what that is? Based, and then of course it's in a fractionated coconut oil. Anybody? Karen, Nakama? Anybody know what that is? I'll have to look that up later and I'll put it in a link, or I'll put it in a little message on the WhatsApp group. So I love this oil. So this rescuer is specifically for soreness, growing pains, pain. This could be an awesome oil to blend with the calmer for teething, putting it at the base of those little toes again and on the jawline specifically for teething. It's great for any growing pains, scrapes, boo-boos, because of the copaiba and the lavender. Specifically have those properties for helping the body's natural ability to heal more rapidly. It's gentle enough on sensitive skin because it's in fractionated coconut oil, but also copaiba generally has zero skin like people have zero skin reactions to copaiba. Lavender, sometimes you can have a little skin reaction, but it's highly diluted and then it's with the copaiba. So I love this. It could be on your really active kids after a hoog or running or exercise. And it's just a great pain oil or boo-boo oil, and you can use it as an adult if you had a strong exercise session or you have a little bit of arthritis or something that causes you pain. You can use the rescuer and try it, experiment. How does your body react to the rescuer over the deep blue? Or maybe you combine the two because all the oils in rescuer are not in deep blue. So it'd just be adding a nice, stronger synergy of your oils. Because I love deep blue, but it doesn't have copaiba or lavender in it, which is in the rescuer. So great, you could add those two together as an adult. And then I don't know if it's going to take us into this next one, but I like the rescuer and the stronger blended together for our kids, because rescuer is for a boo-boo or pain or something to help with the pain. And then the stronger helps with building the cellular response and the immunity. So what's in stronger? I'm going to skip right into stronger. I love stronger. I'm totally
Karen?
out of, yes.
Just before you will move on, I just looked for this.
Xanthoxylum.
Yes, thank you. And it's they add, like, it's an amazing addition to the blend because it's anti-inflammatory and it's good for any like anything related to the muscles and inflammation and our blood. How do you call it? מערכת הדם, בנות?
But not, it's
the blood blood system.
Oh,
and
the circulatory system. Yeah.
Yes, and fibromyalgia. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it in the right pronunciation, but anything related to muscle and שלד שריר.
Okay.
So
everybody speaks Hebrew.
Not by my, yes,
right now,
yes.
so okay.
שלד שריר זה מצוין, not by mistake, and also it's good for the מערכת הנשימה. I forgot my English for, I don't know why. So anyway, it's an amazing oil.
Breathing system.
Yes, the breathing system. Yes, I don't know. Maybe it's too late for me now.
Respiratory system.
Respiratory system. Yes. So of course, doTERRA. So they added it not because they didn't have any other oil to add, but it was very wisely to add this oil. So it's exactly where it should be in this blend. So just
amazing
about this oil. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so then stronger we were talking about. So stronger has cedarwood, linseed oil, frankincense, and rose. I love that it has rose in the stronger. Like I feel, so this is an oil that that evokes the feelings of wellness. I love how they put that. It is a really gentle formula. It's blended with fractionated coconut oil. It's perfect for anybody that has sensitive skin, because the On Guard is such a great oil for the body's ability to boost its immunity. But it's very spicy to the skin, and it's very just spicy in general. And so this is an alternative to the On Guard, because none of the oils are spicy. They're not won't be sensitive to the skin. So it's great for our little ones or anybody that has skin sensitivity. And this oil is for the same reason, boosting immunity, helping the body's ability to keep its immunity strong. But then it has these oils in it that are really good for increasing positive feelings. And just, I mean, essential oils, the more I use them, the more I understand that if you're having a physical imbalance in the body, it is related to an emotional trigger as well, or an emotional happening in your body. And so this Stronger is really focusing on promoting positive feelings. And when you feel positive, of course, your immunity is going to respond to that, and you're going to have this physical response of stronger immunity. And I love that, like, because of the oils that are in it, cedarwood, linseed, frankincense, rose, fractionated coconut oil. My daughter insists on putting all the oils on by herself. She does not want help. And so I feel it's safe and it's soft for her to apply it many, many times around her belly button. And I know that it's not going to be too much for her. If she did 5 circles of On Guard around her belly button, she'd feel like her whole stomach's on fire. But the Stronger around her belly button, it's rose, it's frankincense, it's linseed, so it's very soft, it's very gentle. And so this is an oil that I try to apply a couple times a week, and as the season changes, or when they're physically at school with other people, exchanging hydroquinone and germs with each other, you'd want to be putting this Stronger on daily. And you can do it at night, just a little, 1 or 2 swipes around the belly button, have them rub it in so then that they can smell it from their fingertips. And I do like to blend the Stronger and the Rescuer together around the belly button. I just think it's because then you're doing the cedarwood, rose, frankincense, linseed with the lavender, copaiba, the one that Karen told us about. I'm not going to attempt to say the name right now. And those are a beautiful combo around the belly button for all of your kids before you go to bed. And then do it for yourself. Don't just do these beautiful remedies just for your children. Do it for yourself. So as you've just swiped it around your child, do it for yourself. Swipe around your belly button, the Stronger and the Rescuer, to just keep your immune system strong during us opening up to exposing ourselves to people again, which we should as human beings walking on this planet, and make sure that you're just strong going into those new interactions. So yes.
Carla, first of all, why around the belly button? And second of all, is the dilution is suitable for children. So if it's still a little bit weak for us as adults, isn't it? Or wouldn't it be?
Yeah, so it's diluted and suitable for children. So it is, I wouldn't say it's weak, but it's just very gentle for adults. But again, if you're not dealing with something specific like a weak immunity or you're not like sick, you're just wanting to maintain the health that you have, then the children's kit's just a nice small gentle dose every day into your system. But if you were like sick or really feeling like you're going to expose yourself to some some situations that might compromise your immunity, then I would do the On Guard, but bring those beautiful oils of the stronger in. They're much different than the On Guard. Combine them. Do the On Guard and the stronger together. And why for adults? This would be for adults. Or if you had children 6 and older that actually were sick, maybe they got the flu or got a cold or something, do the blend together. The On Guard is much stronger. It's going to kick the system into gear much more rapidly. But I like blending it with the stronger because you get those beautiful oils that aren't in the On Guard. So put them together. For my little one, my 2-year-old, and I would suggest for 3 and under, I'm only using the stronger now that it's come out. And why around the belly button? So in Ayurveda, which is my background, is your immunity, and we all know this too, just from our experiences in natural medicine, is that the majority of your 80 to 90% of your immunity is in your digestive system. It's in your gut. And so a direct path into that is through your belly button. So you can apply anything topically around the belly button and even into the belly button, like rub it into the button, and you're going to get a direct input into the immunity. In Ayurveda, this is also your seat of where you create heat. It's your core heat generator. So that's a good place to put oils. If the body is hot and producing a fever, it'll help bring down fever. And that's one of the best places to apply it, is around the belly button and into the belly button to bring heat out of the body and bring the fever down. So what would we use for fever? Stronger for sure, because there's a bacteria or a virus in the body that's producing the fever. And then rescuer is anti-inflammatory. So if it's for a little one, rescuer, and I would probably also blend it with the calmer for the lavender. So all 3 of these for fever: stronger, rescuer, calmer for fever, and around the belly button. And the second place that I put it is up and down the spine for a fever, and for like a serious flu, if they're like really fluey, achy, not feeling good, I apply it in 2 places: around the belly button and up and down the back of the spine. And they're diluted, so I just, rub them down. Don't need to add any coconut oil to that. So the next oil is Steady. It's the beautiful green one. And this is more kind of an emotional oil. It's amorous, balsam fir, coriander, and magnolia in fractionated coconut oil. It's really beautiful. I love this one. So this would be comparable to the oil that everyone may be familiar with, Balance. It would be the comparable oil, but for children, because the Balance, like, even though it smells very gentle, it has some very strong oils in it. So would you want to, this could be an oil that you could 100% feel safe with using for 3-year-olds and younger, the Steady. This is like, why would you use this for a little baby? So babies that are teething, we already talked about the oils for teething, but they can be fetchy and grumpy and grouchy. So you could use the Steady on them, put it on the bottom of their feet. I use it for, sometimes I do it with that blend on the head, the Brave, the Calmer, and then Steady on top. Because it's just exactly as it sounds. It's a grounding blend. It helps to bring people, kids or people, into their body, letting go of stress or anxiety or nervousness. It's really calming and uplifting. So like you feel positive. Another place that you can put it, like before school, is the Brave on the wrist with the Steady. That combination is really nice before going into a new situation for your children or for you. Maybe you've been really taking advantage of staying home and not around a lot of people during COVID. And now when the world starts getting going again, you might find that you feel anxious going into places where there's lots of people because your nervous system just hasn't been being exposed to that. And so the brave and the steady on your wrists and over your heart are a good combination to help you not feel anxious going into public places or into new experiences. So that's steady. Love it, love it, love it. And then we did stronger, and the last one is thinker, or there's Tamer, but I don't have Tamer yet. It's in the mail, and they don't even have it in this handout. So maybe if somebody has Tamer after I talk about thinker, you can talk about Tamer. I'm excited to get it. So thinker is vetiver, peppermint, clementine, rosemary. Yes, yes, yes. Someone's speaking, but we can't hear you.
Kara, can you hear me?
It's a little choppy. Your internet or your connection is not so good.
Yeah, I don't have a good connection. It's Yachad. Did you say something about putting it on babies?
Putting it on babies
I sent the note.
Oh, let me look at the note because I can't.
I wrote the question in the chat.
Okay, I'll look at the chat. I have to stop sharing the screen to look at the chat.
Yachad was asking about the age, the start age, like because about
for under, is it safe for babies under 3 months is what the question was. So I mean, it depends on what oil. Calmer, absolutely safe for babies under 3 months. Stronger is, I'm just going to reacquaint myself with what's in it. Cedarwood, not necessarily an oil that I would use for a baby under 3 months. Frankincense and rose, yes. So I would say stronger if the baby's like sick, really has like a flu, cold, something that really they need help with their immunity boosting. I would say stronger, yes, on the bottom of the feet only. Calmer for a baby under 3 months. They're not teething really yet, but maybe they're fetchy, they have colic. You could use calmer, yes, around their belly button. And the Tamer, I'm so excited for the Tamer that's coming out. That would be totally okay for a baby 3 months and under. That's when they're experiencing colic, you know. Sometimes when they're first born, they already are having colic from mama's milk and just their digestive system maturing. So the Tamer around the belly button for 3 months and younger. These oils are highly diluted. They're made specifically for our little ones to use plant-based medicine safely with them and not have to use over-the-counter medication. I mean, it's crazy how I've had some people had seriously colicky babies. Everything they took in was coming up in their spit up. They spit up immediately after every nursing session. They were really feeling like they were going to have to go to formula, which is crazy. Like, I don't breastfeed your baby, feed them formula, and they're not going to puke on that. And also that I've had mommies coming to me saying that they are that doctors are putting their 3 months and younger kids on the over-the-counter medication for reflux. But be careful of essential oils, you know, that doctor's like telling them to be careful of essential oils, but here's some medication for reflux. And I've had those parents just really not want to do that reflux medication for their 3-month-old. I totally don't blame them. And we used really heavily diluted Digestzen, but now we have the Tamer. Like, for 3 months and younger, I don't prefer using the Digestzen because it is really strong. But I would dilute it even more so that parent didn't have to use reflux medication. And all they did was put it on the bottom of the baby's feet, because again, they're 3 months and younger. I'd only put oils on the bottom of their feet. And the baby could nurse without refluxing and was pooping. because one of the problems with a lot of times with reflux is there's a connection of the baby not eliminating well. And so what's the other way to eliminate? Coming up and throwing it up. So as soon as they were putting the heavily diluted digestin on the feet, which now that we have Tamer, I would recommend Tamer over Digestzen. The baby, they said, would poop almost immediately after applying the oil to their feet, and that made a huge difference in their reflux. And think about it, two and two, it goes together. If the baby's pooping, they don't have to throw up as much because it's not having to come out. And then I had the mother, for serious colic and reflux, I had the mother taking, putting Digestzen, or it could be the Tamer, around their belly so that she was digesting her food better and having better digestion for herself. And so it was helping her milk to be easier to digest for the baby. So many times, all these suggestions that I'm giving towards your kids, you as the mother could also do it as well. Especially for our little ones, anything that's coming up for them, it's a reflection of, it is not to put ourselves down, but it could be a reflection of stuff that's going on with us. Do we have nervousness? Do we have anxiety? Do we have some focus issues? You know, and so think about it and say, why is my child showing this? What oils will I use to help them? And I'm going to put them on me too, to just role model the use of these oils and balancing out those little imbalances that might be happening with us and therefore being reflected in our children's behavior. So off that soapbox and on to the next oil, thinker. I just share the screen. So oils, just to wrap that up, because I know this is a big question for everybody. I'm not going to share the screen quite yet. How do I stop sharing it? Oh, well, I'll just share the screen because I want to. The oils that are good for 3 months and younger, 6 months and younger, stronger if they're really seriously are having some illness that they're dealing with, put it on the bottom of their feet. No need to use Brave for 3 months and younger. Calmer, yes. Rescuer, Copaiba, Lavender, Spearmint. Rescuer should be okay for 3 months and younger, but what would be the reason why you need to use it? Like, there's not a real reason why 3 months and younger need to be using Rescuer. So Calmer for sure for 3 months and younger, and then we said a little bit of Stronger, and then Tamer. Those would be the 3 oils that I feel 100% confident recommending for 3 months and younger. Steady, I think Calmer would do the trick for Fetchy Baby. Steady has balsam fir and amarice and coriander. Those are a bit strong for babies, so I wouldn't use Steady for 3 months and younger. And Thinker, no need to use Thinker for 3 months and younger. So we said Tamer, Stronger, Rescuer, or Tamer, Stronger, Calmer for 3 months and younger. And then, or really we should say 6 months and younger. And then 6 months and up, you can start using some of these oils. Thinker is really an oil for more, you know, our older kids, when you start to see that they may have some attention deficit and they're needing attention. Like, why do you need to use Thinker for a 3-year-old? You probably don't need to, but once they start going into GON and into situations where they need to show more focus, this is a great oil for them or for us. Thinker has vetiver, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. What a great blend. Vetiver is grounding, peppermint is alerting, uplifting, clementine is focusing, and rosemary is also focusing and good for memory. So this is a great, you could rub it across the temples and then the back of the neck before you need to start a project or before your child needs to start online learning or going to school. Vetiver is going to last a long time in the system. They'll be experiencing that pretty much all day. But peppermint, clementine, and rosemary, they kind of absorb pretty quickly. So this would need to be applied if you're really working with an attention issue. It would need to be applied a couple times a day. So before they go to school, if you don't want them to take it to school, just apply it again when they get home from school, because you would need it to be applied at least twice a day if you really wanted to see a difference in your child's focus. And then this could be blended with, you know, the steady or the calmer, you know, depending on kind of what kind of attention child they are. So it, thinkers for increasing attention, and then are they kind of a hyper child? So add the calmer, or are they or the steady, like nervous child and need focus. I think thinker and steady together. Hyper child and need focus, do the thinker and the calmer together. And then Tamer I don't have, and we don't have a PIP on that, but we love Tamer as our very gentle digestion. So I'm gonna, before I stop sharing the screen, I wanna just show you guys really quick. I pulled this up on doTERRA.com. It's under the category is Essential Oil Safety Guide. It has lots of great recommendations to how to use essential oils safely. I'm gonna scroll down to the part about the use of essential oils with children. So children are smaller, more sensitive than adults. So that's why the kids collection was made, because it's highly diluted and it has more gentle oils. It's important that you are, if you're using essential oils with kids, that you educate yourself on how to use essential oils safely for them. The safest place to apply oils to children is the bottom of the feet. And you want to always dilute. So that's why with my kids, I use the kids collection or the touch, all the touches, which we're going to go into next, because they're already diluted. If it's a little tiny baby, you can add even more coconut oil to the touches, or the kids collection are really diluted. So I don't think you need to add more oil to that. But when we go into Lavender Touch and Digestzen Touch, and you needed to use those for little ones, I would add more coconut oil to it. If you're going to create your own blends, they're recommending for little ones 1 drop of essential oil to 10 drops of a carrier oil. Some people go way overboard. I've heard people say they're putting 1 drop into 10 milliliters of coconut oil. That is not what doTERRA is saying. They're saying 1 drop to 10 drops of coconut oil, not 10 milliliters of coconut oil. You're not going to get any effective use of that essential oil if you're adding 1 drop to 10 milliliters. That's too diluted. You know, it's just important to, so here's a safety tip for if a child gets a hold of essential oil and experiences some kind of sensitivity on the skin. So I have 2 experiences. I had my son had seen us using essential oils, putting a drop on his hand, on our hands, and smelling it. But to him, it looks like we're rubbing it on our face because we're smelling it like this. So when he was 3, he tried to put 1 drop of an essential oil on his hand, but a bunch of drops came out because he was doing it by himself before I could catch him, and it was On Guard. And so he put a bunch of drops of On Guard in his hand and then proceeded to rub it all over his face. So he immediately started screaming. His face turned bright red. He was burning from the oil. And I was in the kitchen. The first oil I could grab was olive oil. I poured a ton of olive oil on my hand and just started rubbing it on his face. And then it started to calm down. It felt gross to him, but it wasn't burning anymore. I did some more olive oil, rubbed it all over his face and hair and neck. And we had it solved in about 1 minute, where the burning went away. And there's just a little residual redness to his face. But you have to remember that essential oils can be really sensitive to the skin and cause burning, a burning sensation or an actual redness and burning to the skin, and you use oil to dilute it. So coconut oil, olive oil, almond oil, jojoba oil, whatever you have, quickly just grab a bunch of it or scoop out a bunch of coconut oil and put it in the place that's being burned or sensitive to the oil. Same with, I've had people say that they put, 3 or 5 drops of lavender in a bath. That's not too much, it's not excessive, but their child was sensitive to it and they turned bright red, like the color of Karen's sweater. And it's uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like burning, itchy. Take them out of the bath and put oil, not lotion, put oil, coconut oil, almond oil, jojoba oil, and just put it all over their body, and it'll take away the sensitivity immediately. Last thing to keep in mind is, because this may happen to you with one of your clients or one of the people that you're helping, is I had a client call me because their child had gotten a hold of the lavender bottle, pure lavender, and drank pure lavender. And she wasn't sure how much, but she felt like it was a lot. And she took her child into the Tamer, the emergency room. And there, the doctors don't really know what to do when a child ingests a whole bottle of lavender. And so they were considering pumping his stomach and all of this stuff that's pretty traumatic. And again, oil attaches itself to other oil. So the best thing to do is not drink water, but drink like something that has fat in it, like milk or almond milk, or not juice because that doesn't have fat in it, but like yogurt, eat yogurt, or do things that ingest things that have fat in it, so that it's going to absorb the oils from if there's some that's still in the throat and burning the lining of the throat because they ingested straight lavender oil, or if it's down into the esophagus and in the stomach, eat high fatty yogurt, milk, anything that has fat in it. And then just know that that not much more harm can come from that. Then she said he was falling asleep. Should she keep him awake? And I said, if he's drank some milk or yogurt and he's not uncomfortable anymore, let him go to sleep, because that's what lavender does. It makes you go to sleep. And when he wakes up, he'll be fine. So just things to remember, because we are using essential oils with kids, and these are some of the things that could happen with the kids and the people in our life. But I also reminded her that he didn't just down a whole thing of cough medicine or a whole thing of Acamol or one of these things where he probably would need to get his stomach pumped. I think she was able to talk the doctor out of pumping his stomach, and they just let the child sleep and let her take him home. So now the other oils that I add to my kids kit, and then we're going to stop for questions, is, so for my older kids, I do have the On Guard in there. Now my little ones, they're only using the Stronger, that's the equivalent, but I use the On Guard Touch for my bigger kids. If they're sick, a swipe around the belly button and up and down the spine. That's good for boosting immunity and getting rid of any virus or bacteria that might be attacking their system. And I do blend it with the Melaleuca, because there's not Melaleuca in the On Guard, right? No, there's not. So I'd blend it with the Melaleuca. Melaleuca I always have in the kids kit, because this I use for any cuts or bruises or open wounds. Melaleuca is known to dive right in there, kill the bacteria, and then help the other oils to work better. So right on top of the Melaleuca, then I put the Stronger for an actual scrape or boo-boo that's open and possibly collecting bacteria. If it's a redness of the skin, the other one that I always have in the kit is the Lavender Touch. I love these two combined together, the Melaleuca and lavender. I use them all the time for any skin conditions. Melaleuca first and then lavender on top of that for acne, eczema, any kind of irritation on the skin, sunburns. If it was a sunburn, I wouldn't use Melaleuca because there's not bacteria in a sunburn, but I would use Rescuer first. It's diluted more than the lavender, and then the lavender for a sunburn. And that'll take care of the sunburn right away. What's also nice probably for the sunburn is Stronger because it has rose in it and copaiba. So these three would be great for a sunburn. And what's so great is how Stronger can be used in so many different ways. Like you could never put On Guard on a sunburn, but you can put Stronger on a sunburn. Other oils that I feel are good for attention and hyperactivity, we talked about Thinker for our littler kids. For my bigger kid, like my 13-year-old, she loves the Intune. I find that the Intune, I feel like, is a focus blend for women or teenagers. It has sandalwood, patchouli, lime. This is like the worst bottle to read. Frankincense, because of that clear. So this is great for her. And for my little boy, he's 8, I use Peace for his focus. It's really grounding and super heavy, and it's a little more manly smelling, so he also likes the smell of Peace. And he just needs focus, but also has a nervousness to him. If anything bad can happen, he thinks of it and creates scenarios of bad situations. So even though nothing ever bad has happened to him, thank God, but he can think of every bad situation and imagine what it'd be like if it happened to him. So the Peace is his oil. We bring that into his life and put it on the back of his neck for his day. And this oil doesn't need to be reapplied. It stays on the body the whole day. It's very strong and grounding. Let's see, I think we covered, oh, and then of course there's Breathe. We can't forget Breathe, or now known as Air. The Air Touch, I love it for just applying on the chest and maybe just below the nose if there is congestion, and then it's a great to combine with the Stronger, because if there's congestion and snottiness, then there's a bacteria buildup. So you'd want to also work on the immunity and helping to get rid of that bacteria with the Stronger. So Stronger and Air on the chest, and then a little bit of, like, sometimes I'll just put it here on my congested person or a little bit under the nose, and it's diluted so it doesn't burn. It's diluted with coconut oil. Okay, you guys, that's it for kind of a fast study of the kids collection. Let's just finish the class and then I'll ask questions with Stronger. We're going to do Stronger in our palm with an extra rose, because rose is already in the Stronger, but let's just make it even rosier. So for a strong rest of your day or night, a strong immune boosting rose, making you elegant and beautiful queen for your evening sleep. And just knowing that you're a strong, beautiful woman, you're on the right path. You're so amazing for using essential oils in your life and in your family's life and in your children's life. You're so amazing for believing in these oils and wanting to share them with other people. Could you imagine your life without them? I cannot. I would be very sad. I'm so thankful for doTERRA and their integrity and how much integrity and pureness they put into their oils, and that this is the only thing that I use for my family's emotional health and their physical health. I hope that you can get there someday with these oils as well and keep sharing them with other people. Thanks for being on the call. I'm going to stop the recording, but stay on if you have any questions. Bye.